Welcome back out into the arena as we turn our attention from the number 1 ranked player to the number 2, and the man that has got his sights firmly on that number 1 crown. Declan Brennan, one of the players of the last 2 seasons, prolific winner, prolific finalist last season. This season seems to be going better and actually lifting the titles. That's why he's so close to achieving that number 1 status, which seems an almost unbelievable statistic given how long Tom has held that ranking for. Declan Brennan has already won the Players' Championships and the Champions League this season. What would he give to add a Pro Series to that? Came very close yesterday, losing out to his Northern Irish teammate 𝗪𝗪𝗃𝗃 in the semi-finals. Back in action though in event 6. His opponent this morning, the Frenchman Christophe Lambert, himself a former Ultimate Pool Pro Series winner. One of the best, if not the best, player France has ever produced. Only a slightly lean time of it of late by his own very high standards, but a player that can be an absolute match for anyone. Mark Shepherd with you once again for this one as we get this race to 8 underway. 50 minutes on the match clock, 30 seconds on the shot clock. This is the last 32 stage of Pro Series Event 6. We'll be playing all the way down to a final tonight. Stick with us throughout the day for live coverage. We'll also be bringing some coverage later on this main arena table of the Women's Pro Series final. Plus on some of the other stream tables, we'll be covering the various other finals that are going on. Got the 4 Challenger tiers, Disability Series, Next Gen Series and the Senior event. A lot of silverware still to be handed out today. Sometimes the Sunday can feel a bit flat compared with the rest of the weekend, but no danger of that today given how many matches we've still got to come and how many great players we've got in action. Declan at the table on the yellow balls. You'd be a bit disappointed with that semi-final performance last night. He'd played a lot of pool up until that point. Didn't quite hit the heights in truth in that semi-final. Don't think it would have been the worst thing for him to get a night's sleep, come back and regroup for this second event of the weekend. Turned into a good chance. There's a bit of work to be done at the beginning of the clearance, but navigated a couple of the issues. I'll try and draw the cue ball back. Took the opportunity to just promote that ball. Didn't have to, but had a good angle for it. Makes the pot more straightforward. Such a consistent cue. This mid-distance pot won't present a problem for him. Tony Holgate alongside me once again in the commentary box.
I had to go get some water. It's a bit warm. Ice water. We're back. We're alive again. Yes, 𝗏𝗃𝗃. Be very keen to erase the memory of losing to 𝗪𝗪𝗃𝗃 last night. Looked a bit jittery. He must have known that if he won that match, he was going to go into the number 1 position. He's now also seen Tom Cousins just win on this table in the previous match, so he needs to win to keep up the pace and this black for the opening frame.
It's always interesting, that debate about the rankings. pretty much 100% of players, if you ask them that question in an interview, say that they don't look at the rankings. It's all about the trophies. The rankings take care of themselves.
Yeah, I love the precision that Christophe places the cue ball down before break-off. It seems to be the French way. I'm sure you remember Yannick Bothysse. His rituals even more sort of, well, I won't say OCD, but he had to align one of the red dots so it's dead straight, pointing upwards. And then it was, I think it was 4 counts of the cue. It was really an OCD break, I'm telling you.
It also tends to have been the case that a lot of the top French players have been on the slower side. Yannick Bothysse, back when we used to play with a 60-second shot clock with a 30-second warning, went through phases in the World Championships where you'd see him never really play a shot before the 30 seconds. Great player though, did come back and play of course on the Ultimate Pool Pro Series for a year, but didn't perhaps have quite the results he wanted, and obviously it's quite a commitment when you're travelling over from France for all of these events. Nice to see him back though for that brief period. He's a player that's done a lot to shape French pool and the international pool scene.
Yeah, I played against Yannick many times. Superb player. Really was at that time, in that era, part of the backbone of that French side, along with Stéphane Gênes, Patrice Sellon. Some great players. My old mate Eric Lacoste used to be the captain. He's gone back a little bit further. But this Frenchman, at the moment, is the top of the pile, Christophe Lambert, and that will level things up. Good response from Christophe.
Yeah, I mean, over the years we've seen some great players travel internationally for the World Championships. Big commitment. I mean, the Australians, of course, seen some great players travel literally from the other side of the world to play in some of these events. And on the Ultimate Pool Series, so Jake McCartney was a stalwart of the early seasons of Ultimate Pool. So 8-ball potted off the break. That's of no consequence here. We're not playing golden breaks in the Pro Series, so that's ignored for the purpose of deciding what happened if another ball's been potted. The player continues at the table. In this case, it was an otherwise dry break, which is why Christophe is getting the first opportunity. The news from the table just alongside this is that Jaden Billingham has completed his win. He books a place in the last 16. 7-4 victory in the end. Aaron Davis has been playing well but came up short in that match. For all we've said about the more measured style of the French players, and Christophe is one of them when playing without a shot clock, I think in a way the shot clock has probably benefited him more than some other players. It seems to have prompted him to play a slightly more rapid style of pool. Actually adapted very well. Somebody that does naturally take a bit longer with the pre-shot routine, he's actually very adept at having to play quickly when he needs to. Perhaps has helped to force a bit more fluency. I mean, you can see here when we're playing with the 30-second shot clock, he does spend a fair bit of time. Just like to look at all the angles before he gets down. Bit to think about here, because the red at the top of the table, very well guarded by those yellows. You've got to get one side or the other, as he's just pointing with his cue. Could consider playing the long plant here. You can't pound this into the middle pocket, so playing it that way was beneficial, both from getting position and also from opening that pocket up. He's going to have to play one more shot here. The same yellows that were defending the red are also going to act as a bit of a barrier for the cue ball if he's not careful. think he's going to have to screw back. I don't think he's really got the angle to force the cue ball to the left-hand side. Well, had to commit to a cannon. Wasn't sure how that would turn out, and he's been a bit unlucky there.
Yeah, it's too many little bumps along the way there for Christophe. One cushion escape. What he will try and do is try and get the cue ball between the black and that yellow and try and cut that red towards the one that's over the bag. Maybe he won't. Well, I'm surprised it is, because I thought he might make a more aggressive shot trying to pot a ball.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't quite see the logic that way. You're not really ever going to make the ball, and you're quite likely to hit that yellow, which is going to knock the red safe.
The reason being, Mark, is if you played the way I just said, and you came back and you did manage to cut that red and play that plant, where the cue ball was going, you were always going to be on the next ball. You had a chance to win the frame. I know it's a remote chance, but a chance all the same.
And sometimes that's all you can really give yourself from that kind of position.
Well, the thing is, Mark, you know he's now going to play loss of turn here, Declan Brennan. Cue ball as far away as possible from that red, and that's a really good shot from 𝗏𝗃𝗲𝗏. So where was the value in the shot he played?
Yeah, that was a good shot from Declan, though. The loss of turn wasn't that difficult to get right, but the cue ball, he's had to put some work into that. And now, this is about the worst position in pool. He's got one ball on the table that's pretty much dead, and you can't even see it. He's going to have to give this a reasonably firm hit and try and make it. Where's the 8 ball as well? Although, tell you what, if that sticks to the red, that's been a result.
Very clever safety shot there from Christophe. Wow. How's he managed to have that little bit of fortune? But the one thing Declan does have on his side, he has plenty of yellows to try and move it.
Yeah, I think long term this is still not a great position for Christophe, because Declan can have a chance at moving it. It's not in a position where there's any risk of potting the black, so he can afford to go into it with pace if he gets a chance. Or worst case, he can, if he has to play some safety, he can force Christophe to try and move it.
Do you know what? I would have gone in now with the one over the bag, and the reason, if you come across there and you screw into that red and black, you're likely to hit the red, the cube. The black's going to hit that side rail and go towards that right middle bag. But those two yellows would stop the black going in there. But he's going off the red. I suppose that works.
We'll let him have that one.
Yeah.
You always had the luxury of a lot of time and space to play within this frame.
Yeah, well, I'm impatient. I would have gone straight away to try and get it out rather than wait a shot. And obviously that was a better option because he had more control.
Frame that could have gone differently, but 𝗏𝗃𝗲𝗏 will be happy to be given this chance.
Clever shot he played there, because I'll tell you what, he played that in a way that he was going to be on that ball in the middle in case he put both in the same shot.
Even there, he's played a good shot. Getting low on this makes the position easier than having to play off the top of the bottom cushion. So, bit of a gift wrap chance, that one for Declan. Gratefully accepted. 13 minutes played already. 2-1 to Declan.
Oh dear. Not a very kind cue ball there for Christophe.
It's not been a great last few minutes for Christophe, has it? It's one piece of bad luck after another. Look at the position of the reds as well. This is where the game could really speed up. The matches that Ďek has struggled with a bit have been where the matches have got more bogged down. Whereas in these kind of open positions is right up there with the very best in the world. Pretty much dead straight on this ball, so you can just draw back in a straight line. The red passes the yellow's bottom left, so nothing really to do. made to look simple. Couldn't really have been a much better chance of Christophe's break, but courtesy of that in-off, it's Declan that gets first chance. And after the disappointing end to the previous frame from Christophe's point of view, it's very much continued. 3-1 now to Declan. He'll be hoping that he has plenty more matches to come, because he'd very much like to have another deep run. Looks like that yellow's going in. Did need that last ball rolling because nothing else had gone down. And once again, red's the colour of choice. Just trying to play a touch cannon onto the 8 ball just to promote it near the middle pocket. For a nervous moment, once he'd missed the cannon, he was worried he'd drifted into the middle, although that would have been very unlucky from that angle. The 8 ball's fine where it is, but if he could have just bumped it over the middle pocket, it would have just made life that little bit easier. Giving it a bit of thought just because of a bit of traffic to negotiate. He's found quite a good gap between those 2 yellows to take that red that he's just potted. The rest now all fairly straightforward. He's also going to be working backwards. He hasn't now got an easy ball to cannon into the 8 ball, so he's going to be trying to think what would be the best ball to leave position to get onto it.
He's just slightly the wrong side, but he has more than one option. Now he just wants to pot this into the middle, steer the cue ball down onto the bottom rail, and then just up between those 2 yellows, just above the reds. Perfect.
Negotiated this pattern well. Just wants to leave a slight angle on this last red. That's pretty much perfect. This 8 ball, if you're anywhere near it, is unmissable for a player of Deck's quality, but if you're playing it from distance, can be an issue.
Never say unmissable.
Just try my best to jinx the players.
That's why. Never say unmissable, Mark. Decky can't believe it. You go and ask Decky now, he said that was unmissable, that.
Seems like the commentator's curse is a real thing. Well, that is a surprise miss because he's played very good position onto it. It's quite a ragged shot in the end, didn't cue it very smoothly.
Jumped up a bit off that shot, did Christophe. Let's have a look at this unmissable black. You see, hit it straight into the rail. Certainly missable if you pump it there. Well, big shot here for Christophe. Oh, ho, ho, ho. Would you believe it? Declan Brennan let off the hook big time. And just look at Christophe Lambert's face. Cannot believe it. He looked a bit jittery on the yellow before it. He sort of jumped up off his cue. And Declan says thank you very much and taps in the black. And that sort of, well, it enabled the miss. Well, that's a very good break. One dodgy red ball on the right hand rail. All the rest are sort of dangling.
Yeah, he'd love to just take this clearance out to help forget that last miss. It's really, if Christophe clears up from there, Declan's sitting in his chair 3-2 up, but feeling way the less happier of the 2 players.
He's fuming, by the way. Just tell by the way he's marching around the table. That bump came out well. He can get to that red in the middle. He needs to just rein himself in a bit, because this is pure frustration he's hitting some of these balls on. He seems to now steadied himself.
Yeah, it's not something we see a lot from Christophe. He's generally pretty level-headed. You see how meticulous he is with his preparation for shots. He's going to regroup now, forget that last frame. Both players will be pretty happy to forget that last frame. Even though the ball over the left corner looks like it should be the easiest ball, it's actually probably the hardest one in terms of correctly playing the positional shot.
Oh, is that a friendly bump? Yes, it is.
Yeah, that was a very friendly bump. That's left pretty much the perfect angle.
And a very quick reply from Christophe Lambert. It'll ease the frustration a little.
Yeah, that's better from Christophe. Nicely taken clearance. That'll help him forget the missed pot in the last frame. White flying around the table, but 3 balls have gone in as well. Could have done without that last ball rolling though. That's made a real mess of the layout. There's 2 balls at the bottom of the table, making this awkward now. As a result of which, no temptation to go for a clearance. Just going to play the containing shot. Well, it's a sunny day outside. That gentleman finding it also quite bright inside, evidently.
John McAllister. Baby Theo. A little smile from John. Of course, won event 5 last night in fine style.
Yeah, he's feeling pretty happy. He's got his family here. He's just won the tournament. Life is good at the moment. Well, certainly left the yellow. Those kind of cagey safety exchanges never really last very long at the beginning of frames. Sooner or later you end up having to play away or knock the balls away from the cushion and you end up leaving a shot. This is okay for Christophe. There's one difficult ball below the right centre. There's other balls near it. Could just leave it where it is, play it down the rail and then play out onto the ball that's just to the left of it.
Just looks a little bit more settled now, Christophe, after that bizarre frame that the pair of them had.
Yeah, I don't think we'll see too much of that. Christophe's such an
It's gone now.
experienced match player.
Yeah. But I do get it, and I would have probably been worse than Christophe. It does anger you when you blow a chance, especially when you didn't think you were going to get it, because he probably thought that was unmissable, that black from Declan Brennan.
So just looking at getting the cue ball back to just close to where it is now, or maybe a couple of rolls further over.
It's okay. Maybe slightly bigger bounce than he wanted there, but he's okay.
Yeah, he's got quite a natural angle, but the pot now he's got to be careful with it. It's just a hair off the cushion. Just got to give it his full attention. Oh, that's a good bit of cueing.
Wonderful shot. Absolutely pinpoint. Yellow and the 8 ball for 4-3. Christophe Lambert is back at the races.
That's much better from Christophe. And just when you think he's building up some momentum, he comes up dry. Declan wants to get a hold of this match now. Been a couple of scrappy moments. Looked like he was motoring off into the distance. Christophe's now got a couple back. He doesn't want to get drawn into anything silly here. He wants to keep this lead, not find himself back on level terms again. There's a match-up between these two players. It's pretty close in terms of the quality of the players, but in terms of immediate recent form, you'd have to say Declan would have started this a fairly warm favourite. But equally, he's well aware of what Christophe can do. Match clock ticking past the halfway point now. Just over 25 minutes played. Also around about the halfway point in terms of frames played. 7 down of a possible 15. It's moving over from Northern Ireland. Declan's been basing himself in the Liverpool area. Been dedicating himself to the game, playing a lot of pool, and you can see from his results that that's paying off.
Tricky little shot here now for Declan. Cuts his yellow in. Want to come into that little cluster of 3 balls there where black, yellow and red are sat. Okay. Is that yellow passed through the gap? It must. Oh, it must have, yeah. Tight. Not tight. Well, well, well. One of those deceptive ones. And this 8 ball into the centre pocket to give Declan a 5-3 lead. In it goes. Tidy finish there from Declan.
16, he's come through 8-7 against Josh Kane, taken all the way to the deciding frame, but got the job done in the end. As we see, Declan potting a lot of balls, but not all the ones he wanted. So black's respotted, the white is passed to his opponent, and it's going to be Christophe to play first.
Yeah, no question, the reds are far easier than yellows. Yeah, I think what happened now, I think when our referee 𝗨𝗏𝗏 there put the black respotted, I think it just sort of, it came away from its original position and he wanted it put back to the exact spot it should be, which he's done, he just stopped the match clock there just for a split second while he did it. we obviously couldn't see because Orange was stood in front. He came a bit further than he would have liked there.
Trying to leave himself straight on the ball to the left centre. He could just have drawn it back. Now he can pot the ball still, but he's been naturally running into the yellow. May still be a shot worth playing. He could try to run into both yellows, the one immediately above it, and then run through to the other one. And also have the saving ball. Yeah, that always looked like it should probably turn out okay.
Yep, nice nudge. I'm presuming the 8 ball goes into the bottom right hand corner. Doesn't go, certainly doesn't go anywhere else. Or does he move it here?
From the speed he's playing this at, I think it must go. So just draw the cue ball back.
Very nice.
This has been much better. 3 good clearances in a row. 2 from Christophe Lambert, 1 from Declan Brennan. Match within a single frame again. 9 frames played. Declan leads by 5 frames to 4. Here from Christophe Lambert, but just as effective. Oh, once again he's lost the cue ball into the corner pocket. That's very unfortunate. You can see his analysis of that. Having just calmed down, he seems to have annoyed himself again.
Well, they've both gone in off it in the last 2 breaks in that same corner pocket, Declan and Christophe. And just look at the layout of the yellows as well. These are gone.
That was annoying as well because it got bumped in. The cue ball was nowhere near the pocket until it took a cannon.
No.
Yes, looking like it could easily be the quickest frame of the match. This is a very straightforward clearance for Declan.
Yeah, and this will take him to 6-4. Christophe needs to get another 2 in a row somewhere. Just exchanging the backwards and forwards isn't going to do him any good.
He's so frustrated because if that ball doesn't get cannoned in, then that's his clearance, and he's thinking that could have been 5 all. So, frame 11. Cue ball stays on the table. 2 balls potted. Shake of the head from Declan, but got to take the positives. At least he's going to be playing the next shot. Starting options a bit limited. He's got a couple of yellows he can go after, or a long red. He's going to try and cut this yellow back top left. That's pretty good. I think the shake of the head was more because he'd get left in a slightly awkward position for the starting shot. Now that's been dispatched. Decent enough opportunity. This would be a key frame to win. 7-4. Get himself onto the hill. can obviously see enough of the yellow over the left centre to pot it, so he's just going to run the cue ball, either run the cue ball through or stun this side of the black. So effectively just this yellow required to get himself onto the hill. The 8-ball's going to be there waiting. And having fought so hard to get himself back into the match, Christophe Lambert watches his opponent reel off another clearance. 4 streams, of course, this weekend, all available on Ultimate Pool TV and the Ultimate Pool app. This is the main arena table 1. The table that's described on the live scoring is table 4, will be live on YouTube throughout the afternoon with commentary where available on most of the matches. Tables 2 and 3, no commentary but full coverage of the matches on those tables. Right now the match over on the YouTube table, Josh Duhas against Darryl Whitworth in the company of Nick Finn. And it looks like our time in the company of Christophe Lambert could be coming to an end if he doesn't turn things around fairly quickly. He's got to win all 4 of the remaining frames. It's not a bad shot. He's got the red over the left centre opened up such that he can use it to cannon into the balls that are below the cue ball now. But he obviously can't play the shot from this position, so he's going to have to go over bottom right first. Not an easy plant that, but negotiated it well. I'd love that red to stay just a bit closer to the pocket to make the next position easier. He wants to try to get high on the red to the left centre to leave an angle to bump into the cluster. It's quite thin, yeah, I don't think he can play that shot, so he's going to have to reroute left centre and then leave an angle on the ball over the bottom right to bump into that cluster.
Well, he's got his angle, but this is going to rely heavily on Lady Luck, how this comes out. There you see where he wants to go. He wants to hit more yellow than red.
Yeah, full contact on the red. There's a danger that the yellow pops out, but the white stays this end of the table. Well, he wanted more yellow than red, but he wanted to get some of the yellow at least.
Yep, he's in a bit of trouble now, Christophe.
This is a terrible position, both in the frame and the match. It could easily be his last shot of the match.
Going through the gap of the yellow, is going to try and swerve into it. Another light ball in hand. And it is going to be ball in hand for Declan Brennan. And these yellows, well, they are begging to be potted. And Declan looks like he's going to follow Tom Cousins into the next round.
Close to the worst case scenario for Christophe there. Opened up the only cluster on the table and gave away ball in hand. Nothing left here really for Declan. He's going to put the 2 balls at this end of the table, screw up for the one at the top of the table. And then drop the 2 balls into opposite centres to wrap up the victory. It's not been flawless. Careless missed 8-ball in one of the earlier frames, but it's been good, and it's been signs of a man in form who could easily continue improving as the rounds continue. Potential 4 more matches today. This 8-ball will take him through to the last 16. And the 8 ball's down. Declan Brennan completes a good win over a spirited Christophe Lambert. Christophe got off to a bad start, fought his way back into the match in the middle part, but ultimately things just went a bit wrong at the end. Just couldn't quite get enough chances, and Declan was happy to accept the ones that came his way.